son.
I really thought today when I was coming here, I was going to use a compelling argument for you to focus in on assessment skills. But you guys have kind of made my job easier. I was listening to Dave Trimble, and I think even though he was talking about technology and our advancements, he was able to put apps and plug it in there at least 4 times. So that kind of helps out. Mary Jane has all these extra supervisors, so we're going to bring them down to apps to take care of cases, and that was beneficial. Paul has made a point of talking about early, getting to a lot of the revenue taxation code and the impacts it's had on our office and how we're trying to work through those. And that is a big topic in discussion. And so I'm thankful that you brought that up. And I think it kind of goes to several of the points that I'd like to talk about today. And I'd like to think about them as the PCCs, or the PCCs, I should say. Essentially, we're talking about as there's 3 main components that we're having to work with. Obviously, the people. We're talking about 2 primary groups. Obviously, for me, in my purview, in my forum, I'm primarily dealing with one is ethnic for the applicants, the agents, and then our staff. And there's been a lot of changes that we've tried to institute to make sure, particularly when we're talking about the relationship between our staff, that that's a good relationship, that they feel respected, and that there is a teamwork and a partnership that's taking place down at the board. But the other big issue is obviously cases, which for us is workload. And I know that a lot of people are being impacted by that. Our plates are full, we have lots of priorities, and so I wanted to really make this compelling argument of why the preparation and the time that you put into assessment those cases really helps the entire office as a whole. And then lastly, when we're talking about it, we have conflict. It takes place there. The role's been trying to get to some kind of resolution. And for us, that means withdrawals, anything like that. They see our point of view. We give them this compelling evidence, and they realize that our assessment is fair and accurate. Then there's the case where we have an acceptable recommendation, taking a second look at it, which I know sometimes for district chiefs can be a little bit daunting because it brings work back for you and have you look at something a second time. But I think there's a benefit to it because that's also what our purpose is, to put on an accurate assessment, whether that means raising it or lowering it. So that's important. But again, what I'd like to really focus on is a lot of things that we've been talking about today. And it's basically looking at our resources and figure out ways that we can kind of coordinate. I think we've made some tremendous gains over time. There's been tremendous changes, and many of you have been a part of that. Toward Haiti, we advised them. You guys been seeing other changes we've made? 4 new ARs. They're down there trying to do their best. Case activity reports, which I know sometimes people think those are a pain, but they're such a valuable resource. We actually know what happened and transpired at the last hearing. We can actually send information back to the districts in terms of if we're sending something back for a reason, what do we need to focus on? We can also document if it's a final continuance or a final continuance. So the next time it's a different AR or a different testifying appraiser is here, we know how to do it. Other changes to make before? iPads. So when you think about it, we're kind of doing everything. We talk about our initiatives. We have technology. We have staff. We're trying to show them that we appreciate them, as Sharon talks about. And sometimes that can just basically be job well done, sending an email after they've testified to let them know that they've done a good job, they've gotten positive feedback, and also send it to their supervisors so that they appreciate it that way too. But I think one of the things that's happened that's been really beneficial is there has actually been a lot of coordination between the different sections and units, and this needs to be ongoing. I can think of very quickly a couple of cases where we have international extrusion. I think that's the case that's out of the East. And essentially, when we're talking about that, this is something that's gone on for a while. It's been continued, etc. And one of the issues that came up with that case is that essentially they filled out a BOE 100. They listed 2 of the parcels, but they didn't list the 3rd parcel. And so we're going through all these things, the board with the client values, etc. The agent comes to the hearing, and we say, wait a minute, you have an assessment that we didn't lot of times we're talking with the applicant, issues come up, and we're making referrals, et cetera. We're giving them information, so it's a wonderful opportunity for us to have to educate them. So, again, I thought I was going to make this argument about how important assessment appeals are. I know for many of the district chiefs, that's only one function. But I think that where the real value comes is, one, it's an excellent opportunity for us to train our appraisers. They are questioned on their appraisal acumen. They have to justify their value conclusions. I think ultimately that makes them better appraisers. But also there's a great opportunity for us to sit and give a public face to the assessor. And although we're in an environment that by its very nature can be confrontational, it doesn't have to be disagreeable. So I hope we continue to make gains, whether that be 5209, which I think we're working on in terms of revising, ways to give back more feedback to our appraisers, and then ongoing training. But I thank all of you because you make my job that much easier. I was going to show you a slide of Braveheart because that's the image I kind of wanted you to have. That down there, we're down there every day fighting the fight, and we do that. But it takes all of us working together to make this effective.
Thank you.